All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to round 2 of the Hamilton RSL GT3 Endurance Cup from Aussie Endurance Series. Tonight we've got an exciting one. We've got Cooper Hanair co-commentating alongside me, Justin. Let's go, Brad Coates. I agree with you, Trenton. Come on, Brad. Let's see you up there, my friend. All right. Let's get into business here, hey? Let's see who we've got on track here at the moment. All right, so currently we're on board with Ilias back to Luis. Oh, we just need to do a thing real quick here. And of course, all my best laid plans have gone awry, my friends. Because why wouldn't they? That's what happens with these things, doesn't it? I actually tested everything tonight before I got on here. And now, none of the things that work. I love my life. Anyway.
Unfortunately, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to tonight's special guest co-commentator, Cooper Hanair. I'm Justin Davis, your other commentator, and we're on board with Eamon Johnston and that fantastic OnlyFans livery. We're a family-friendly stream, so we're not going to talk too much about that, but for those who know, get your license out. You've got to make sure that you ID verify these days. All right, Cooper, what are you expecting tonight, my friend? What are we going to see out there?
I mean, obviously we know this league is quite competitive, even through the different rankings systems. They've got down platinum all the way down to bronze. So it's going to be an interesting one, Justin. I reckon there's a lot of competitive guys here that want to take pole position tonight. So I reckon we're in for a bit of a show.
I think we are. And let's just have a bit of a peek here. Let me see if I can get some lap times up there so that we can see how things are shaking out in this wonderful qualifying that we're seeing right now. And, oh, there we go. I'm able to move through the cars now, which is quite handy. So we're on board with Matt Knight in that beautiful car there while we start looking for some lap times. Uno momento, my friends. All right. Do. Through Sunset he goes.
May I please ask, sorry, before we get into this, can I please have your broadcast view so I can see what you're seeing, my friend?
Oh, mate, I am a terrible co-host. Can I have can I have yours as well, please?
Yes, you may.
All right, my friend. There you go. Oh, wait, that's not how we did it before. We didn't like that, did we? We're, let me stop. Let me give you the proper view. The actual screen that you want.
We need the full bickies.
The full bickies. All right, as you can see, on your view, I'm trying to do things because I'm stupid. And that's how I roll.
That's okay. We'll keep you updated, guys, while we get through the little teething issues we've got at the start of stream here, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that's going to disrupt your viewing for the race proceedings here tonight.
All right, we're good to go now. So we're on board here. Troy Maguire in that wonderful-looking Mercedes, one of our platinum drivers here tonight. And Troy currently on a 201. Eamon there, who is currently running P9 with a 201.9. And Jarrett in a very similar point in the track right now. These two are going toe-to-toe. Jared is one of our bronze drivers, and where are we looking? So he's currently P2 in his class.
Now, Justin, obviously you've commentated a fair few of the AES streams. Now, what do you reckon? Who are your contenders tonight for the platinum division? From what you see here tonight,
That's a very good question. I think Lewis here looks like he's going to be very strong. He's put that on pole so far with a 159.3. It looks like our friend, where are we looking here? Our friend Mr. Arnold, who's no longer on track because he set a lap, and I'm sorry guys, I'm too new to remember first names off the top of my head until we get a bit into this race. After 2 hours, I'll be with you intimately. And Ilyas Dogan has gone second fastest tonight, which is, I'm not seeing some laps from some of our familiar names. So we've got Rankin in P9, and Mick Voch, who's a common contender up the front, doesn't appear to have set a lap yet, but he is out there in the Porsche as we speak. So he's just heading around Sunset now. We're going to see where he falls. What are you thinking? Is he going to get up the pointy end of the grid here, Cooper?
yeah. Look, there's some really good drivers on this grid, and Mick proves week in week out that he's got what it takes to be at the front. So I think he's a great driver. I've raced against him quite a bit personally as well. So yeah, they've both got the talent to put it on front today.
I think you're right, but they haven't so far. So looking at it, it looks like we've got a lot of checkered flags out there. So we've... Oh, thank you, Trenton. We appreciate the shout out. Hopefully you have a good night. Hopefully we don't get too crazy. I'm a little underslept, but, you know, I promise not to do a Le Mans and start talking about putting children on certain substances like they do in the middle of the night. All right, let's go through our grid here. So we have Gallon on P1, Ilyas Dogan P2. We've got Arnold, if I remember correctly, Matty. We've got Alex Court in P4, rounding out the second row. Third row, we're going to have Brandon McKivka and Knight. So Knight there being our leader so far on the grid for the silver class. And it looks like we've still got a little bit of movement there. Michael Voch has just managed to, or somebody just put a lap in around there. All right, so then we've got Alavoine and Maguire on the next row, followed by Rankin and Gilbert. We've got Voch and Johnston on the next row. Or have I got my rows confused? Never mind. Coates, Eastman, Jack. Then we've got Liam Hagan, Brad Crellin, Jarrett Stark, PJ Whiteman, and Denton on P20. And that's rounding out the top 20 of our grid tonight, folks. So we'll be going onto the grid very soon. And let me just do you all a favour. See if I can't, which apparently I can't. It doesn't want to do it. Where are they? I've got no black boxes. I need to turn the driver chat off. Let me just go in here and we'll do it that way. Ah, so unorganised. So unorganised. I can't even see under my overlays.
I'm getting the chat up on my phone so we can get some chat interaction real time as well. Here, Justin, I know something I was had no access to, but I thought I do have a phone and I've got some initiative, so let's get into the chat.
Thanks,
if
mate.
there are some of you watching, get involved.
Okay, guys, 1 minute 40 to grid. Remember to put your fuel back in from quali, otherwise you're going to have a short first stint and you have a double stop.
All right,
Alrighty,
no
so
more
about to get underway.
interruptions. About to get underway. About to get you your overlay view back here. Here it comes. All right. So, how long have we got on the grid here, ladies and gentlemen? Just trying to get my screens all back in order so that I can see the chat and see everything I need to. All right, we're good.
Is this a standing start, Justin, or is this a rolling start?
This will be a rolling start, my friend. GT3 rules. I agree. Let's go, Trenton. We are strapping in for
Hurrah!
a big race. And let me just get on board with somebody here so that I can start.
While you're doing that, Justin, I'll give us a quick rundown of our starting grid. We've got Lewis Paulo, Ilias Doggin on the second row there, with Jeff Arnold and Alex Court rounding out the second part of the grid. We've got Brendan and Matty Knight there on the third row, with Luke Alvioni and Troy Maguire in at P8, Aidan Rankin and Aaron Gilbert at the 10. Then we have Vochi, Eamon Johnston, Brad Coates, Jared Eastman. Then we have Tristan Jack, Liam Hagan. Coming in next is Gren Krellin, Jarrett Stark. Then we have PJ Whiteman, and we have Rob Denton rounding out the top 20. We still have Brad Fenley at the 21, Sam at the 22. We got John at the 23, Matt at 24, and rounding out is Zach Blake at the 25. So plenty of action to be had across this 25-car field.
As they start weaving on down the straight, and at random, my controls just don't seem to want to work here.
Now, I do see what you're talking about here. Let me just have a look. There is the stream quality, Justin, is stuck at 360p. I'm not sure if that's something we can fix before we get this race underway.
That seems very odd. Let's... Because I am definitely streaming a much higher quality than that. And that wouldn't be a good experience for anyone.
Technical difficulties are what make us stronger, guys, so bear with us.
The stream output is set quite high. The appearance is... Oh, sorry, the general... Where are we? The video is set to 1080. Output scaled. Oh, my God. All right. All right, we should be coming back online any moment now. Let's have a look. All right,
Yeah,
there we go. We're back online. We should be back, Trenton. We should hopefully have you covered here. I still don't understand what the hell is going on with my things.
What a soldier. He said, even with the 360 video quality, I would have stayed. That's dedication to the cause there.
I saw that. Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, we're about to get this motor race, virtual motor race, should I say, underway. They're just coming around the back part of the circuit here. So, yeah, we're about to get underway for 2 hours here of Sebring, which would be good preparation for a lot of these drivers, Justin, who I assume would be running the 12 hours of Sebring this weekend, which is a great feature in the iRacing special events. And I think a lot of people enjoy participating in the iRacing special event. So it's a good one here. Sure, a lot of practice is done, and we're about to get this race underway.
We are. We just head down the back straight here, and around Sunset, folks, expect to see a lot of action on Sunset tonight. Sunset is one of those corners that does tend to produce a good opportunity for overtakes. If you're brave enough, you can throw it under. If you're too brave, you'll wash out and you'll end up in that wall on the outside. So it's definitely one of those that we need to watch tonight for some of the overtake action. And we should be going green. The pace car is away, and we're about to go live.
Green, green, green.
And we're green and we're away. Not too much movement up the front, although we have movement up the... Oh, they're 4 wide. This is an absolute chaotic race start. And the Autism Speaks awareness cars around, the VGA cars around. Oh, we have chaos in the background. Brad Fenley manages to make it around the outside and make it through cleanly as I believe that was Jared Eastman in the VGA car. He has joined back on the back of the pack there without too much damage done. So, Cooper, that was an interesting moment, but I think no harm, no foul. Doesn't look like any damage was done. I think they'll all be in okay shape.
Yeah, like you said, no harm, no foul. Turn 1, 4 wide, like you said, Justin. It was pretty crazy there, but most guys got through unscathed. Great from a lot of the drivers there to keep that tidy and not to bang into a few of the drivers there. I'm just going through the replay here to see what happened there at turn 1.
All right, let's have a look at that replay. That's not worked, has it? Oh my God, I better put the instant replay on. Let's have a look here at the instant replay, folks. Take it away, young Cooper.
Sorry, 2 secs there, Justin.
No problems. As we look through the field, we're still on board with Alex Court here. Let's move back through a few. So, we're on board with Troy Maguire there. And Brandon McKivka down to P5 off the start there. Michael Voach has made up big places. If I'm not mistaken, Michael Voach started down around about P9. He's our big mover and shaker so far, up into P5. Although, I'm seeing Rankin. Do my eyes deceive me, Cooper? Was Rankin not down quite low initially there off the start on the grid?
He was P9 from the start, I believe, Aiden Rankin. So a huge start from him to get the 48 of the Simline racing car up into P2 behind Gallen.
That's actually incredible. I'm quite impressed. Let's see if we can move up the field a little bit there and get on board with that's not done what it claims to do. Love technology. All right, so we're on board with Lewis Paulo Gallen. I'm sorry, Lewis, if I've busted up your name there. But Lewis is currently 1.1 ahead of Aiden Rankin. And if we have a look at our head-to-head predictor, which I've got here in front of me, I'll see if I can get that up at some stage. However, looking at that, I can see that they're very evenly matched so far. There's a slight edge, less than a tenth in every single sector so far, bar sector 3 and 4 on this lap. In the previous lap, I'm guessing due to traffic, Lewis was able to take 1.1 second from Aiden.
Yeah, I've just got the replay up here, Justin. I see the screen still up on the screen, so I'll just quickly go through this one here. You can see quite a few cars get away pretty well, but it's the 78 car of Jess Arnold who gets tagged and gets put around in the middle of the track there. And a lot of cars did a great job to avoid him. They obviously teleported to pits at a good time to stop any more carnage, so great work from those guys.
Thank you, Cooper. That was quite the adventure for lap 1. All right, so we're still on board with Lewis Gallen there. And if we move through the field a little bit, we've got Michael Voach giving chase to Brandon McKivka. Brandon is just pulling away a little bit, 1.1 ahead. Mick is managing to pull away a little bit from Gilbert, though, although it's only half a second at this stage. So car's starting to spread out a little bit. We're starting to see some little battle packs form.
Good effort from Mick as well to get up there a few more positions at the start there. Like you said, Justin, a few cars turned 4 wide into that first turn. They did well to navigate that, and a few guys managed to use that opportune moment to snag a few positions as well.
You're right. It has been quite hectic as we get on board with Alex Court, who's chasing Alavine here and doing quite a good job. I can see that quite evenly matched with Luke there in front of him, but it looks like a good battle shaping up between the two of them. He does appear to be just showing that nose a little bit there. Appreciate that livery, a bit of autism awareness.
Yeah, it's a cool livery, that. Yeah, they've done a good job. Whoever's made that livery, and supporting a great cause as well. It's a, yeah, great looking car.
Oh, they go side by side. It looks like he's going to get the move done into Sunset. So Alex Court, I suggested he might be looking for a move soon. He was all over the Mercedes there. There's some Mercedes on Mercedes violence. So let's watch as... Oh, look at the racing there as Alavine comes bang up right beside him again, but he's going to find himself on the outside of the track here, which is going to make it a little difficult, and he has wisely tucked in. Although, he's thrown it up the... No, not quite. Cooper, these two are going at it.
Yeah, look, good racing here, Justin. You know, plenty of situations there where it might have been, you know, an opportunity to throw it down the inside, but some clean, smart, mature racing from these two Mercedes drivers in Alavone and Court to get through this race. We're only, you know, 10 minutes into 2 hours, so no need to throw any silly moves up the inside. And these guys don't want to hold each other up as well. They've got to make it up to the back of this pack. They're right on the back of Coat, so don't want to lose too much time here. So I think there's some smart racing going on from these two guys.
I 100% agree with you. Let's have a look at what some of the others in the field are doing. Michael Voch has just lost Brandon McKivka a little bit there, and looks like Aaron Gilbert is mounting a challenge in that Mustang. Do they have an aggressive front end, and do you think that makes a difference when that nasty looking Mustang is filling your mirrors?
I must say, you know, as a driver and you do race in lobbies and there's a big American muscle car in your rearview mirrors, it is a little bit intimidating, and these Mustangs are quite well suited towards this Sebring circuit. So, yeah, I think Mick's got a bit of pressure on here in that Simline Porsche to see what he can do to hold off this big American muscle car. Look at the top speed on that. He's just closed him down straight away on that back straight, and Mick got a pretty good run out of that corner too, so it's not like Mick's getting caught here from a lack of trying. That Mustang is looking very well suited to this track.
They're using every ounce of track available to them there as they wash right out to the wall and leave nothing on the table. So he's a fierce competitor, Michael Voch, so I think it's going to be interesting to watch these two battle it out.
Will Gilbert have a go here? It looks like to peek the nose out, but again, smart racing from the AES drivers here just to get through this race. And like we said, the more battling you do at the start, you're diminishing your tyres and you're diminishing that lead that they're trying to chase up to McVicker up the front there. So they don't want to let the front four slip away, and these guys will have to work together to drag themselves back into this race.
I agree with you. And if we look at our standings here, it looks like Lewis has made this his race to lose. It's a long way to go. We're 9 minutes into a 2-hour race, so anything could happen. However, he has pulled a 4-second lead ahead of Aiden Rankin. Let's head up towards these front packs a little bit and see what we can... No, that's... not doing what I'm telling it to. Don't you love that?
I've been keeping an eye on the leaderboard, Justin. I've seen that Maguire, who was originally in P12 after lap 1, has made himself past Shanahan and Knight to get into the top 10. So a great couple opening first laps for him to get that car into a point scoring position. I mean, well, depending on the class here, obviously, but there's a lot of platinum in the top 10 tonight. So yeah, plenty of points up for grabs.
That there is, mate. That there is.
So plenty of battles going across the circuit at the moment.
Unfortunately, it seems to just want to skip over Aiden Rankin. It doesn't like him at all. So, we're on board with Brendan McKivka here, who's in a little battle pack with Ilias and Aiden there. So let's jump on board and watch as he gets the prime view of these two as they're going at each other. Aiden, he fancies himself a bit of a Gandalf. He does like to slam that staff into the ground and give the old demonic, "You shall not pass." He's a bit of a monster defender, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, from personal experience, how we've seen Aiden operate in some of the 24s and 12 hours. Yeah, very experienced driver. And yeah, he's not one to, let someone just cruise on past. And especially in a podium position here, Doggin's going to have to do whatever he can to get past Aiden.
I think you're right. And meanwhile, while the two of them are having a look at each other, we've now got Brendan McKivka just finding himself in a position to take a little bit of advantage here. He's just moving up that little bit.
And this is what I was sort of mentioning earlier, Justin, this drivers having to work together to stay in the field. Now, obviously, Gallen's running off into the distance, and these guys are, Aiden's 5 seconds off the back of the lead now. And if the more battling these three do, it's essentially going to let Gallen have a free run at getting away from the front of them and being able to save some tyres and get through his pit stops a bit quicker than the other guys with a little bit more ease. So it's one of those things you weigh up as a driver while you're in the seat. As the guys come past some lap traffic here, is that you really need to decide how much you're willing to give up. If you're going to let a guy go past and then let him chase you down the field, there really is so many things to weigh up in the race car to decide what's going to be good for your race. So I'm sure plenty of strategies are going on in the Discord chats right now to see where everyone's at.
I think you're right. And back on board with Michael Voch, and it looks like he has been overtaken by the Mustang of Aaron Gilbert. So that battle has, while we were focusing on the pack up front, just resolved itself a little bit there. And looking here, we have the battle of the VGA cars. We have Jeff Arnold and Jared Eastman having a bit of a go as, the locked on car there has, John McHenry was that, I believe. He has had a big moment there. He has managed to scoop it up and keep the car moving though.
Yeah, not what you want this early in the race. Pretty close call there. So, yeah, unfortunately, no one dying just quite yet. But there, early action.
And just a big shout out to the boys from VGA as Jeff Arnold gives Jared Eastman the flashes and says, "Mate, I'm here. I'm wanting to go by. They may be teammates in VGA, but Jared is not about to just hand Jeff Arnold that position." Now, despite the fact that if we have a look, Jeff and Jared are not fighting for position in their class. Jared is driving in silver while Jeff is in the gold class. So these two, this battle is probably a little bit personal. There's a little bit of pride there, and it doesn't matter that it's not for points. They are going to go toe-to-toe.
Yeah, Justin, so I went back and had a look at the replay here to see how Gilbert got past Voch. And, we've got a great replay here of the pass that happened at turn 1 on lap 6.
Let's have a look at that one.
Yeah, so as you can see here, Mick doesn't get the run quite out of onto turn on the front straight as he wanted, and Gilbert just puts that Mustang up the inside. Mick knows he's not got a chance here to fight it, and just lets the Mustang through, and Gilbert puts that Mustang in front. A little bit of contact there coming through with some mid-corner speed issues for Gilbert, but nonetheless, he gets that big American muscle car through on lap 6 to get him another position here in tonight's race.
Fantastic racing from those two. Did my eyes deceive me, or did Michael actually touch the wall just minorly on exit there?
Yeah, I think there was he got very close. I had a look at it before I got this back onto the stream, and yeah, he didn't make contact with the wall, but definitely went wide, caught those marbles, and yeah, sent that Simline Porsche right up against the concrete.
And just looking here, we've got Rob Denton ahead of PJ Whiteman. Rob Denton, one of the Simline racers there.
And yep, I can see he's running the Fuji 24-hour livery with the Japanese stuff on it. So, konnichiwa, Rob. Well done, mate. Looks good.
Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
All right. We've got Matthew Shanahan here in a bit of a three-way battle between Matt Knight and Troy Maguire. So we're got little battle packs forming everywhere that are producing really interesting racing, Cooper.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I didn't think there would be this many battles staying so close together throughout this race. I mean, we know what Sebring's like as a track, and 2 hours of this. It's good to see, yeah, there's some great battles on track, and first and foremost, just some great driving from these guys in this league. And, you know, we've got a great cross-pollination of skill levels in this division with, you know, you've got your gold, silver, bronze, and platinum. And I just think it's really good to see how these different skill levels are interacting. And even some of the other guys, you see Albioni in the gold class, running it with the platinum guys, but more so Knight, who's one of the silver drivers with Liam Hagan. They're pushing in towards the top 10. So there's some great skill here, and great to see these guys that maybe have a little bit of a lower I rating, getting some experience with some more experienced guys, and yeah, cutting it with the best.
It's a very welcoming league. If you happen to be watching along at home and you want to join the league, Aussie Endurance Series, look it up, join the Discord, put your application in. Everyone's welcome. We've got multiple classes, so you've always got a chance. So, yeah, get on board and come have a look. And while I'm talking about the league, I mentioned the VGA team earlier. I just want to give a shout out to Team VGA, the Veteran Gamers Association. If you're a veteran and you game and you're looking for that camaraderie from other ex-service members, get on board with them guys. They're a fantastic organisation doing fantastic things for returned servicemen.
Yeah, what a great cause, Justin. And obviously there's a few guys running the VGA liveries in here. We've seen across the Porsche Cup Series as well and the GT4. So yeah, plenty of camaraderie in this league for sure. And it's great to see so many VGA members a part of the AES.
Agreed. And it looks like with Brandon scooting off down the road, Michael Vogt is now coming under pressure from Alex Court.
Well, I don't know what's happened here, but Gilbert has dropped back behind Court and Vogt. Obviously, we just spoke a lap ago how Gilbert had got that Mustang past the Simline Porsche, and now we've got Court on the back of Vogt now. So I'm going to go back and have a look, Justin, and see what I can find, because it was only a couple laps there we were having a chat, and all of a sudden, that big American muscle car we were talking about has found itself 2 positions behind.
It is a little bit of a tail-happy monster, that one. That could very well be what's gotten into that one. And looking at this, we have a proper three-way battle going here for P2, 3, and 4. And interestingly, they're all platinum here. So these guys will want to get it done. We've got another VGA livery here. We just mentioned VGA. And we've got Ilias Dogan, Brendan McKivka, and Aidan Rankin all fighting hard for these positions. And up in front, Gallen just doing his thing. He now has an 11-second lead on Aidan Rankin, who is defending for his life to hold on to that P2 there.
Yeah, wow. Look, Justin, I've gone back and had a look at the footage, and wow, we missed a bit of action here just before we switched back to these guys. The replay shows, yeah, we had some really good racing that we missed there, but luckily our new feature with the replays, we were able to capture the best moments throughout the race.
Let's have a look at what we missed there.
All right, well, now that we're looking at the replay here, you can see Gilbert comes in and goes a little bit deep, but Vogt throws the Porsche out on the inside, gets a nice little late braking move done, a little bit of contact there, and that allows Court to come in, and he says, I'm putting my Mercedes right in this fight. Comes down and then allows his Mercedes to go down the inside as well. Some great racing room there provided by Gilbert, but that is a battle on track that we didn't see unfold and able to look at it through the replay tonight. But what a great bit of racing there. And you can see Gilbert tries to fight it back, tries to put the Mustang around the outside to get the inside on the next corner, but just couldn't get enough speed through the mid-corner section. And that's what allowed Court to hold that position and Mick to re-secure that position he held just a few laps ago.
Thank you very much, Cooper. That is the sort of racing that you can expect when you come here. These guys, they battle hard, but they battle fair. You won't see a cleaner bunch of racers. Let's go, Tristan, says Boxhead. I'm getting really frustrated with my controls here. I'm not going to lie. They're misbehaving a treat. They just want to skip people. Let's just mess around a little bit while we're here. All right, let's have a look for some of these battles. So, oh, look at that. Alex has found his way past Michael Vogt in the last lap or so. So Michael Vogt, after those early positions, finds himself back down in P6. So that'll be one to watch as the race continues on.
As you can see now as well, Justin, between Rankin, Doggan and... is it McVicker? How did you pronounce it before? I feel like you said it like it's meant to be said earlier.
I believe it's McKivka, but I could be wrong.
McKivka. So between Duggan, McKivka and Rankin, those two McLarens are starting to become an issue for Rankin on the back of that Simline Porsche.
They really are. He's not making it easy on them, that's for sure, but they're not finding a way past so far, and I think there'll be a little bit of frustration there. I think Ilias might be thinking that he's being held up a little bit and put under pressure from Brandon, as we just see Aiden run a bit of a narrower line there, and you have to wonder what's going to happen down the main straight. This may be his best opportunity yet, but it looks like that Porsche, it just gets the run, and Aiden comes across late there to find the racing line again, which, you know, perfectly fair, but I think he's just racing very smart here, covering it off. When he sees he's still clear, he knows he can come back to the racing line to prevent that run from being set up.
Yep, like you said, Justin, earlier, smart racing here in the AES. These guys know what they need to do to keep everything up and about and keep themselves in a good racing position. So, yeah, great effort from them.
All right, let's find our way around a bit. Let's go for a lap with our clear race leader here on his roll bar as we watch the man who is now 13 seconds clear and not under any pressure at all as he drives around the back half of the track here. Technical little section here. Surprises a lot of people the line through here. They don't realise that those lines are not your track limits. So you can really open that up and set yourself up for, what's that one there? Le Mans. Through Le Mans corner and down this back straight and into Sunset and into a new lap.
Yeah, like we spoke about earlier too, for the people that have been here, you can see now, as Justin mentioned, nearly 14 seconds ahead of Rankin, Doggan and McKivka, that Gallen has put himself ahead, and that's exactly what we spoke about. That battling that they've done in the early part of this race has really let Gallen run away with this one. So, he's going to be able to just cruise along and take this race at his own pace.
I think you're right there, mate. So, as you can see, it's a very lonely race for him there. Nobody else around him at all. He is 13 seconds ahead and 30 seconds from the next car in line before he starts encountering any traffic. So,
Oh, what's happened there? Looks like Mick... Oh, maybe there's just a bit of a glitch. He's dropping down the order, Mick Voch. I'm going to go back and have a look what happened there because something's gone wrong for the Porsche driver.
Something has gone very wrong for Michael Voch there. As we have a look through, we'll give Boxhead a bit of time on board with his boy Tristan. So Tristan running very similar times to Eamon Johnston, and there may be a battle here very shortly. 3.5 seconds between them. He's got himself a bit of clear air there, running very well. If we have a look, he is P2 in his class there. So Eamon Johnston, not too far down the road, is the leader in the bronze class, with Tristan doing his best to put up a fight at some stage there. And there's Eamon there in the OnlyFans car. He's catching up to Liam Hagen there, the silver driver. And he has himself a nice little silver livery with the Simline naming on it. Yet another one of them. Don't know where they all come from. They're like rabbits.
No need for a replay here this time, Justin, but it looks like Mick may be having some sort of troubles. It might be a computer issue. He literally pulled over on the main pitch straight very abruptly. So not 100% sure what happened there with Mick, but yeah, we'll try and get some information and find out what happened to Mick. Unfortunate for him, he was running a really good race and unfortunately sees him go to the back of the grid, and it looks like he's just sitting in pit lane.
Big implications for the championship there. If how he drove last year is any indication, and how I know he can drive, he's an actual contender. So, maybe it's a drop round for him. We do have a couple of drop rounds.
Oh, Aiden's gone around.
Aiden Rankin around. Oh, what has happened there?
So I've got it here on the replay. If you give me 2 seconds here, Justin. So whenever you're ready, I've got it up here on the replay. So we've got the two McLarens chasing him down the back straight. The pitch straight. And everything looks okay for him at the start. A pretty routine start to the lap. We do know he was battling with these guys for the last 10 laps or so. Comes into the corner, takes a normal line, nothing too serious, but that rear end of the Porsche just steps out, goes out into the grass, and he manages to keep it straight, but unfortunately for him, he's dropped out of that podium position.
That's costly, and you can see there he's just had to wait a little while and bide his time to ensure that he can rejoin the track safely and not put any pressure on anybody else's race there.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic mistake there from Rankin. It's not something you'd see from him too often, so I know that'll be annoying him quite a bit, but if anyone's going to push hard to get back into the race, it'll be Aiden Rankin.
And we're just on board the gearbox of Matty Knight here, who has a Troy Maguire breathing down his neck. This is quite the battle happening here. These two are looking like there might be some action between them soon, as Matt just manages to pull away a little bit through that corner onto the back straight and gets a better run. All right, let's have a look through and see if we can find some battles, hey, Cooper. So Alex Court has found himself some clean air for himself. Couple of seconds either side, just doing laps at this point and hoping to catch that little battle pack ahead of Brandon McKivka and Elias Dogan. If we go up to that battle pack, half a second between them, these two still tailing each other, still putting pressure on each other.
Yeah, it looks like there's a few little packs going off the gaps and the relatives. Looks like Knight and Maguire are locked in a heaving battle there between the Lamborghini and the Mercedes. And Hagen and Johnston on the back of him now as well. The Mercedes versus the Porsche in that instance. So there's quite a few little tussles throughout this field. And still with a decent amount of time to go. I think we're only just getting close to lapsing over 30 minutes of race time here at Sebring. So still an hour and a half of action to go here. And there's plenty. You know what they say about motorsports, Justin? There's, it's never done until the final flag flies. So we'll see what happens through the next hour and a half.
That indeed we will. So, at the moment, just sitting on board with these guys here as they continue that battle for the second and third step. Just finding themselves split apart a little bit. Let's go for a look through the field. So, here's Jeff Arnold, gold class, currently P16 overall, and if I can count, P3 in his, no, P4 in his class. So it looks like he's just slowly catching Tristan Jack a little bit there. He put a second on him on the previous lap. So far has put 4/10 on him this lap in the first 5 sectors, I should say. So we'll keep an eye on these, Cooper. I think these guys could be having a bit of a battle very soon.
Yep, I'll keep an eye, Justin. I'm sure when a replay's ready to go, I'll be there to run us through what happened.
And here we have John McHenry. He's running his own race a little bit there. We have Rob Denton, 18 seconds down the road from him. And we have Jarrett Stark on a lap down behind him. And as we head back up to Alex Court, just losing touch a little bit with Brandon McKivica up the front there, though he is making some gains. It looks like this is a bit of a backwards and forwards session. And Elias Dogan ahead of Brandon McKivica there. Sorry, I don't know if this is my headset or if this is transmitting, but if you're getting that static, I apologise. Are you getting any static from me, Cooper?
No, everything sounds good from my end, mate, so no issues there.
Excellent. So it looks like Elias has just lifted the pace a little bit here. He's going backwards and forwards with Brandon McKivica, with a red, then a green, then a red, then a green sector. So he is slowly building that gap, but they are going toe-to-toe a little bit. He's extended that out to 1.3 seconds. As we head on to the Japanese Simline vehicle of Rob Denton, he's slowly making gains on PJ Whiteman. So he's 1.3 off the back there, made up a 10th in the last lap. He will just keep chipping away and looking to make his way up past that Mustang when he can. We're on board with Zach Blake. Trouble has befallen Zach. He is no longer on the lead lap, but that does not stop us in the Aussie Endurance Series, folks. You keep going. That's what you do. That's what we do. All right, Cooper. Jared Eastman. How's he going tonight? It looks like he's got himself some clean air. He's got past Liam Hagan. I think Liam was, if I remember correctly, was ahead of him earlier.
Yeah, Liam battled there for a bit. I think he's still getting to grips with that big Mercedes that he's had a little bit, I'd say his seat time is probably limited to what he would want. But yeah, still doing a good job. I believe it might be his first showing in the AES tonight, Liam Hagan as well. So like you said, those Simline guys are populating quite rapidly. But nonetheless, yeah, some good racing from them. Eastman, he's had a good night. He's cruising through at the moment. That VGA livery, obviously, it looks the goods as well. So look good, feel good, as they say, Aiden. I mean, Justin. And yeah, absolutely humming through. I think he's not in a horrible spot here. And as a Silver Division driver, he's actually a net P2 for his division. So having a great race in that regard.
Doing very well. A genuine contender for the Silver Championship. And if we head up to Aaron Gilbert there, that's the Mustang that we saw menacing Michael Vogt earlier. Just pulling himself a bit of a gap from the car behind, but falling off from Alex up ahead. So field just starting to spread out as we head through the 35-minute mark of this race. We're starting to see some of those battle packs sort themselves out as people find their way past. It's rewarding patience, this track.
So I'm just keeping an eye on this battle between Johnston and Hagen. Hagen under pressure now from the OnlyFans mobile. And unfortunately, the Simline vehicle looks like it's just going to get past on the inside, but Liam tries to hold it wide. And unfortunately, just can't get enough grip there out in the marbles. And he's actually going to get a bit of a run here back on the pit straight. We'll see if this Mercedes has got the power to have a go. And they're going side by side down pit straight, but the Porsche has got the favourable line down the inside. And Liam throws it on the anchors late. Gets a decent turn-in angle. It's going to give him a run. We'll see if he's going to have a go down the inside. And they go too wide down to turn 3. And Liam just decides better at that. Pulls the Mercedes up early and it's going to tuck in behind the Porsche here. So a great bit of racing from those two guys.
Fantastic racing going on everywhere at the moment here. It's good to see. I've just got a bit of an interesting one for you. So we know that Lewis is making a bit of a what would you say he's doing here, mate? He's putting on a bit of a class here. So if we have a look here, I've just brought up a lap graph for the moment. This is the last 5-lap average of our top 12 vehicles. And as you can see, Lewis is over half a second faster over the 5-lap average than every other single car in the top 12. So you can see here that Alex Court is making a move, and it looks like he will be battling in the not too distant future, because he is currently moving faster than Brandon McKivka on a lap-to-lap basis. So we'll have to keep an eye on those. Matty Shanahan looks the same. He is going a little bit faster than Alvoin, as we just see those cars shifting around as they cross the line and their averages change.
Yeah, Gilbert's done a great job, as you've mentioned, Justin, to get that Mustang. He did have a bit of an issue earlier where he got tangled in some battling with some guys. No damage, but would have set their race time back a bit, and he did drop a few positions. So he's settled himself here and got that muscle car straight into the top 5, and is the only Ford running inside the top 20 just. We do have... looks like it is Whiteman down the latter part of the field that is running another Mustang, but they're coming in few and far between the Mustangs, but Gilbert's putting the blue over on show.
Fantastic. You love to see it. And apparently now my... Oh, there we go. Suddenly it wants to work again. Love that. All right. So just had to... hide everything else to make it work for a second there. And now we're back. So, we're just scrolling through the field here, folks, looking for some action.
Well, I reckon we jump on board with Liam Hagen here. He's under a bit of threat from Arnold, as Arnold gets past Hagen. So, the VGA Porsche has done it, and Hagen's slowly losing... a bit of pace here in that Simline Mercedes, and he's coming under attack from Jack now as well. So losing a bit of time here. Not sure if he's burned his tyres a little bit in the first part of this race, but yeah, the Simline driver looking to find a little bit more pace here.
Indeed. So Jack's closed that gap right down to 0.3 to Liam Hagen there. I dare say they'll be having a crack at each other very, very soon.
Sorry, just to let you know too, Justin, the replay here was still up on the screen. So we did capture some of that action there for a bit. Some of that action was live, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, we will definitely get back to you with some more replays, though. There's plenty of action scattered across the field.
That there is, and... I don't know about you, but if we look down the relative there, let's have a look at some battles that we can see. So it looks like Alex Court slowly catching 1.6 from Brandon McKivka. Ilias has found himself a nice little gap. He's running in P2. Lewis, as we know, is not under any pressure at all right now. Still 17 seconds ahead and just cruising, although he is going to start to come into traffic soon. So we'll just keep an eye on that and see how he goes navigating those blue flagged cars. I'm sure, I don't know about you, Cooper, when I see a leader, I get scared and I get out of the way. Yeah. I think they'll do the same.
I would love to jump on board with Aiden Rankin now. There's a 4-car battle going on right now, Justin. I've just spotted in the relative here. And there is action-packed coming into the final sector here. These guys are literally nip and tuck. Their front bumper to rear bumper coming through the pack. There's 2 Porsches, a Lambo, and a Merc there between Rankin, Coates, Knight, Maguire. And this is going to be pretty full-on, I reckon, here, Justin. We're coming in to probably the hardest part of the circuit through Sector 1. So let's see how this unfolds.
Look at that train behind Aiden there. You can see them right on each other's gearboxes. If we watch them head down that straight.
Knight in the Lamborghini's going to have a look, and he does decide to go a late move, and Knight throws it up the inside and does it with ease too. It looked like it might have been a bit late, but there's going to be fight back as well. Late on the brakes, and Knight manages to get the move done. A nice move there from him to get past Coates, and now Coates under siege at the back from Maguire as well. As this gives Rankin a little bit of breathing room to get that Simline Porsche a few seconds ahead, but great little sequence of racing there by these 4 guys.
This is a great battle. You love to see it.
And Hagen again under pressure from Jack, and he's dropped another one down the back. Liam Hagen, normally a very, very good driver, and hasn't necessarily done anything wrong tonight, but I think a little bit of extra seat time probably would have helped him out here, but nonetheless a great driver, and I'm sure the AES team will be looking forward to seeing a bit more of him around the traps here in these endurance races.
One of his first forays back into sim racing after a little bit of an extended break. So it is good to see him back in the seat, and I'm sure we will only see improvement from there. And
now I want to... sorry, Justin.
No, you're right. Continue on, Cooper. Continue on.
I wanted to tell a quick story while this racing is going on. We'll keep you in tune the racing, but Liam Hagen and Rob Denton... these guys actually met each other through Liam reaching out on a Facebook group, trying to find a sim, as we see Coates under siege from Maguire real quick here. He goes down the inside, and Coates is going to forget. He's lost that front bumper too, which is not going to help keeping that Porsche straight through that final turn, but he got a good amount of exit there, and it's going to give him a good run down the back. Maguire again loses that position, but he's got the favourable line going into turn 1. Will he get that Mercedes in there? No. Decides better at that move, and Coates fights back to keep his position in the top 10.
This is fantastic racing, Cooper, as he does send that Mercedes down the inside and takes the position back. He's saying, no thank you, sir. You think you've got it, but I will fight you right back.
So no love lost here between Coates and Maguire, and I don't know if that front bumper loss is from a previous tussle they had during this session, but it looks like Coates is going to have another sniff here. He's right on the back of Maguire, and it's just a sensible option here to tuck up here and go for the next session. A little bit of rear contact there from Coates, and now Maguire's got the favourable position. He's going to be calling the shots for the rest of this lap until Coates tries to go past again. You can see Rankin and Knight up in front as well, having their own tussle. So plenty going on here in the top 10.
And these two, like you said, through the Fangio chicane here, there's not a lot of opportunity really until you get down that back straight and back into Sunset. That's the next chance that Coates is going to have to make a move there. So we might just stick on board and see if that swaps back before we start having a look through the field and seeing those other battles. Although, looking ahead there, geez, Rankin and Knight are very close to each other.
I'm keeping an eye on the battle between Rankin and Knight here as well. But a good effort from Brad Coates here. He's got no front aero on that Porsche, and that's going to really hinder his performance driving around this circuit. But he's keeping up with these guys, and they're not slouches by any means. So a good effort from Coates. It looks like he's probably not going to get close enough this lap. We'll see how he comes around onto the pit straight, but it looks like Maguire settled here a little bit now. Rankin under siege from Knight. They're going to tuck in as well. There's a lot of smart racing going on here, Justin, as well. I don't think any of these moves at all, as we see these two still going toe-to-toe.
They are. They certainly are. And what have we got here? We've got Brandon McKivka under siege himself. This is for the third step. These two are platinum, and they are fighting for the prestige of a shot on the podium.
Now, I want to mention as well that that blue oval Mustang we were talking about earlier, he has shrunken down his relative towards the back of Coates. Gilbert, has shrunken it down to Court. So it was about 12 seconds before. It's about 7 seconds now. So while these two continue to battle, that means that Gilbert is going to be able to get on the back of these guys at some point. You might see that Mustang come up in the background as it does. So he can see them now. He's locking into the back of this Mercedes to see if he can reel himself into this battle.
So just 46 minutes of racing has been completed. So it's a little bit shorter than 2 hours. It's a 1 hour 48 minute session. So it will. We're just about at the point where we have an hour left of racing to go, folks.
Oh, and I've just gone back and I've found contact.
Oh,
I found some contact which explains why Aiden Rankin has dropped that position again to Matt Knight.
All right, let's bring the replay up, shall we?
Yep.
All right.
So you can see here Rankin on the outside and Knight on the inside in that Lamborghini. So they come in very tight. Knight throws up the inside of Rankin. They both give each other racing room. Very on the minimal end of that racing room. You can see it. Aiden just tucks across there. It looks like most of that contact was net code. I think these guys still provided each other a decent amount of racing room, but unlucky for Rankin, the second time he's gone around tonight, and it's another uphill battle for him to see where he can get this Simline Porsche in. He's just outside of that battle with Coates, Maguire, and Knight again, but yeah, he's going to have to shave a few seconds off and catch back up to these guys if he wants to have another crack.
And he'll be upset with that, because if you don't know, Aiden Rankin is our current leader in the platinum class after the first round. So he would have been hoping for something better than where he's sitting tonight. I don't think he'll be the leader after tonight. I don't remember exactly the positions from last week, but I dare say that some of the platinum guys up ahead would have had more consistent finishes there.
Let's have a look, Justin. We're going to the results. So, Season 8 standings. So last week, Rankin did take the top spot. The results doesn't actually have the points on it, so I actually can't get that, unfortunately. There is a link here. Let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can find, Justin. We'll eke some information out here for the team. So on 25 points, it's Aiden Rankin at the top, and Michael Voch was who got the podium position there with the 15. So yeah, I think for him with Voch out as well, those guys are going to drop down the leaderboard a little bit there and open up a little bit of a battle for the rest of this AES season.
You love to see it. You don't want to see somebody run away with the championship. Takes all the fun out of it. So, you know, Aiden, I love you, but I'm glad you're losing. All right, let's have a peek through here. We've just been on board with Brad Fenley in the Victoria Bitter car. One of our Battle for the Brewery. Mind you, we're missing a few of the other typical Battle for the Breweries. I haven't seen the Sapporo vehicle. I have not seen the I haven't seen the Sapporo, and I have not seen the 4X car of Milan tonight. So, oh, sorry, Milan. So, Milan and, gosh, my memory's terrible, sorry. But yeah, our other brewery cars, we're missing you. We hope to see you next week. And we've got someone pulled over here. What has happened there, Cooper?
Starkey, all right, let's go. I'll give you the call in a sec there, Justin, to see what's happened here with Stark. It's a bit of a weird one to pull over on the side of the circuit like that. So let's go back and have a look. Yeah, I'm in the replay now, so we can go back whenever you're ready, mate.
All right, let's have a look.
So, yep, I've pulled the last section up here where Stark was still driving. Looks pretty normal, nothing out of the usual. Gets a little bit of oversteer there, has a little bit of a spin, and then just bumps his front of that BMW into the barrier, but then just decides to pull it up on the grass, and no more for the BMW. I'm not sure if there was a technical issue there that came with that bump, possibly bumping of a button or some sorts of like that. But yeah, the BMW is parked up and on the grass.
Roger. Interesting. Didn't look like too hard a hit, but potentially something's gone on there. As we see, Alex Court is now really closing down that gap to Brandon McKivka. However, geez, these guys are so closely matched. I am looking at the head-to-head. 201.07 to Brandon McKivka in the last lap. 201.085 for Alex Court. And 201.178 for Aaron Gilbert. These three positions are just so closely matched. They are matching each other 10th for 10th around here. This is, if this closes down and becomes a battle, this is going to be one to watch, I think.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, Justin, about the AES League, you can see right here, the proof is in the pudding. What they do with their I-rating system and how they sort these drivers into their class. There's obviously going to be outliers with that system, but you can see these three guys literally within tenths of a second of each other over multiple race laps across the session. So it's great racing to see that these guys have really held on to the back of each other for, you know, more part of, we're nearly at the hour mark now. So they've done a really, really good job.
And if I can bring the lap graph up again, you'll see, I think the reason Alex is closing Brendan down there is he's just that little bit more consistent. It's allowed him to pull that little bit ahead. But one of the things to watch here is Matt Shanahan, P6 there. He's almost matching the leader for pace at this stage of the race. So I dare say we'll be seeing him make some moves very shortly. As we start to see some pit stops.
Here we go. We're getting into the interesting part of the race now. Just about the hour mark, as we know, for those of you that do the endurance racing, for those of you that don't. Most of these GT3 cars can go about 50 to 58 minutes, depending on the car and the balance of performance, and also how hard the drivers are driving and fuel saving and whatnot. But we're at that pit stop mark, that critical 50-minute mark, where we're going to start to see these sorts of things unfold. So interesting to see what teams have done what and how many extra laps some of these guys can get out of these cars to offset their fuel and strategy. So I'm intrigued to see what goes on there, Justin. And it looks like Stark has made his way back on after a repair. That's nice to see him back out in the field. That BMW go have another crack. But the leaders, so we've got a few guys that are still out offsetting their liveries. Obviously, our leader, Gallen, he was way out. 20 seconds now, that leader stretched out to in front of Dogan. So, yeah, he's doing a great job out front there. Looks like he hasn't stepped a foot wrong, Justin.
He has not. He is putting on a masterclass here. And on the cold tyres, we see Alex Court make that move and make it stick. That is a brave move when you have fresh tyres on.
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence in your skill or confidence in the car. Court didn't have an issue with that one. And he just threw that Mercedes up the inside. And what a move that was.
Fantastic racing. let's have a look through. That pit stop looks like it has been the difference for P3. So I know we're looking at the relative, and it looks like we're looking at P14, but let's not forget they're one of the first cars to make their stop. As I see up ahead, Ilias has followed Lewis into the pits and gives us a new race leader in Aaron Gilbert, followed by Matt Shanahan. That will all, of course, shake out when provisionally we see those other cars make their pit stops, as Alavoine jumps into the pits as well.
Yeah, and you know, something we haven't seen too often in the last couple of weeks, Justin, and definitely something we're probably unlikely to see on a circuit like Sebring with the big runoffs and grass areas. But there's no safety car or anything like that that's going to come into play for these drivers. So there's no point of making unnecessary risk of staying out and trying to wish for that sort of thing to happen. We know this track is relatively safe, and as we've seen tonight, guys have teleported when they're in a pretty dangerous position. So no consideration of the safety car tonight. Not like a circuit, say, example for an Adelaide or something like that, where if there is a pile-up, we are going to see race control throw a safety car. But something pretty crazy would have to happen here for us to see that sort of thing come out from race control.
Yeah, it's certainly not that sort of track, and we see it's absolute chaos in the pit lane at the moment. Virtual mechanics running everywhere as basically the whole field pulls in. We had Rankin, we had Eastman, we had Maguire, we had Denton. Half the field is in here at this point. So Alavoine is in there too. Troy Maguire, a big look through the field. So might be worth watching Aiden. He may do a similar thing here. One of the things I've noticed from commentating these races and watching Rankin race is he is very confident on cold tyres. And it looks like, oh no, Troy Maguire's gone around and into the fence.
Maguire, so the cold tyres proving in the powered Mercedes car. We know those cars are tail happy on a bad day, and they're pretty tail happy on a good day as well. So unfortunately for Maguire, his hard work comes unstuck. We've seen the battles, Justin, we discussed them earlier. He had some great racing there in the early stages of this race, and it's probably worst case scenario to putting the car in the wall after a pit stop like that. So unfortunate for him. He's going to have to limp that car back to the pit lane.
Yeah, that's not gone very well for him at all, as we see Matthew Knight cruising down the pit lane there. Is he on his way in or is he on his way out at the moment? I think he's on his way in. So we're still seeing plenty shaking out in the pit stops there, but it looks like the front cars have all now made that stop. Brad Fenley yet to stop, who is currently in P6. So whether he comes through on these cars before they finish their stop, we're about to find out.
Oh, so unlucky for Maguire there. Something can be so easily done in this new tyre model of these GT3s. Justin, as we've spoken about off broadcast, those cars on those warm-up laps are just can really catch you off guard. And unfortunately for him, Troy's just become unstuck there. I've just had a quick look at the replay, and no need to go back because we caught it on stream, but when he was coming through turn 3 there, he caught way too much curb. So I don't even think it was really a tyre issue too. I think it's actually getting that car up on the curb too much, which has unsettled it, and is what sent that Mercedes into the fence on his outlap.
So Rob Denton a lap down on Jared Eastman, who is closing on him right now. So he'll navigate through the traffic there in due course. His next car for position is McHenry, John McHenry, who is 10 seconds down the road. As we continue through, we see that after these pit stops have shaken out, Alex Court is in P2, but Lewis Paulo Gallen, 30 seconds almost.
Yeah, he's way out now. That pit stop has really proven what he did on the back end of that. And we've just seen Aiden Rankin go past Brad Coates for that position on the outlap. So Rankin again on a charge. I mean, he really is trying to be on that damage limitation now, our championship leader here, to really understand and get some points back to get himself sorted for the next round.
And it looks like ahead of him, Alavoine and Knight are having quite the battle. Let's see if I can find my way through to there. Okay, look at this battle. We have the wrong view. Here we go. All right, Alavoine looks like he may be looking to use that slipstream and make a run on the inside into Sunset. So he's established himself there in alongside that car. No, outside. No, I'm just stupid. So Alavoine goes around the outside on Matt Knight and takes that position cleanly in Sunset, as we see Rankin come around in the background, having made some ground there, and doesn't look like he's under too much pressure. And Alavoine has skipped ahead in that first straight and built himself a bit of a comfortable buffer. So I don't think he's going to have Matt Knight coming back at him through this first sector.
Yeah, it looks like that Mercedes is real planted for him. He looks like he's got that under control and just, yeah, made it stick and off he went.
And Jared Eastman has made his way through Rob Denton there, who's still putting in laps, putting in work.
Yeah, good stuff from Rob. I think it's his first outing with the AES team as well. So a good one for him to get sorted and see what it's all about. And yeah, same thing with him. I think he said he's ran some minimal laps here today at Sebring. So a nice little feeler for them. And like we said, the Sebring 12-hour iRacing special event is coming up this weekend. So it's a great opportunity, you know, to get some door-to-door racing and some practice before we go into the big dance over the weekend.
Especially having to do that double stint. As we see in the background, what did we miss there? Matthew Shanahan and Ilias Dogan. Wait, Ilias Dogan, P20. What's happened there?
And we've actually had Matt Knight spin as well there, Justin. He's dropped down the order too. So he was battling... who was he battling with? He was in a bit of a tussle there. We just had it on stream before, actually. It was the Mercedes of Alavoine. He was battling, that's right. So I've just got it on replay here. I'm just having a quick look, Justin. And it looks like he just got too trigger happy. He did. Too trigger happy with that Lamborghini. And again, cold tyres. The Lambo just didn't like it.
Roger, have we got the replay there, mate?
We do have the replay here. A quick replay can come. You let me know when we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go, my friend.
Good to go. Here you can see he comes in. Doesn't take too much of a different angle or anything like that. And just the rear end of that Lambo steps out. No harm, no foul. The car's still straight. So he'll relish the opportunity to try and take it back and chase after this guys. But not ideal for Knight.
No, not at all. As we see Troy Maguire in P16 got himself some clean air to just do laps in after Rankin went ahead of him earlier on that. Looks like he's lost quite a few positions, actually. Oh, because he had that spin. Yes.
Yeah, had the spin, and I did have a quick check on him while he was in pit lane. He did opt to take the damage repairs by the looks of it. The car was sat there for a little bit longer than some of the other cars that pitted at a similar time. So, yeah, unfortunately for him, he wanted to take a bit more of a straighter car into the second part of this session and, yeah, had to pay the time damage there to get it straight again.
And after that spin from Matt Knight, that's closed the gap down to 6 seconds between Jared Eastman and Matt Knight, who got a free 11 seconds on that previous lap. And there's Matt there. He's still cruising around. Those numbers don't look good, but they're not representative of Matt's actual lap times there. As we know, he just had a little bit of a moment. Put the back end
So it
around.
looks like McKivka and Court here, Justin, looking at the relative Those two guys are now locked in a pretty intense battle, as you can see here. Court running the defensive line to put that McLaren on check behind him. And these guys have been at it all race, and you can see there Makivka just keeping tucked behind Court in the Mercedes. There's no need to have a dive there if it's not really on. Like we've seen with Maguire before, those curbs are quite dangerous too and treacherous, and especially for that Mercedes and the McLaren too. You know, you don't want to throw that car up there. It's just not going to work. And it looks like Court redresses the position, so not sure what's going on there. He just gave the position up to Makivka, and yeah, a bit of an odd one there, Justin.
Yeah, not sure what's happened there. They obviously feel like it was warranted, and they've redressed in order to avoid the risk of a penalty there. So this battle will rage on, as that's just given Gilbert a little bit of a sniff. He's now within a second and a half.
I did want to mention that coming out of his pit stop, he really has closed the gap. We spoke about it about 20 minutes ago. Gilbert went from about 12.5 seconds into the 7-second range, and now he's literally a second off the back of these guys, about 1.3 seconds. So the menacing Mustang is slowly drawing in to a podium position. And yeah, look, once he gets on the back of these guys, they're going to have to watch out, because every battle that Gilbert's really been a part of tonight, he's managed to dispatch the guys that he was close to. So it's a really strong drive from Gilbert.
And just in the time we've been talking, he's excuse me. Just in the time we've been talking, that gap's now under a second. It's showing 0.7. He is on an absolute charge with fresh tyres in that Mustang. What do you think his strategy is there? Is he using up those tyres while these other guys are trying to save a bit, or is there just a genuine pace difference here?
Look, I think I'm going to try and put it into a Formula One term here, Justin, to sort of try and break down what I'm thinking in my head. But I think at the early part of this race, he saved a lot of tyre while these guys were going gun and hoe, because really Court and Makivka have been going at it for quite a decent amount of this race. And at one point, Rankin was involved in there, and Maguire as well, I believe. So there was a 4-car battle at one point, and they really sort of burned their tyres out early on in that stint. And I think that's where we've seen Gilbert. He just nursed that Mustang through the first part of this session, and he was able to just put in consistent laps, not lose that much time, which we've slowly seen him knocking away that time difference while these guys are battling. Now, they have just come out of a pit stop, and they're all on relatively the same sort of tyres. But again, these guys have been battling, and he knows how to bide his time and just sit there and pick them off one by one. He did it in the earlier battles before he had a little bit of a spin. So for him now, I think he's just going to come on the back. And you can see he's right on the back of Court now. And yeah, I dare say he's just going to sit behind and find an opportunity that works for him rather than pushing the issue.
1.5 seconds the difference the last lap. So we're going to see these two on top of each other very shortly, as that gap is now 0.4 seconds, just 0.4 separating them, as we see Brandon Makivka navigating the lap traffic of Glenn Crellin.
So good, awesome work there from Crellin. He managed to let all 3 cars down the straight and still set him up for a decent run into turn 1. So we're going to keep an eye on this battle. We can see that Gilbert has reeled these guys in. It's quite impressive to say, honestly, Justin. He looked in no man's land early in the race, and it looked like it wasn't going to be really obtainable for him to get on the back of this pack. But yeah, he's played his cards right, and now that menacing Mustang is looking to take a podium position here all of a sudden.
He certainly has. And looking down the track a bit, we've got Shanahan, who is a couple of seconds behind, and then a bit of a gap back to Alavoine and Rankin. But if we have a look at our gaps there, Rankin right on the back of Alavoine and putting him into under a bit of pressure, which we could see in the background down the straight there.
Yeah, now for Aiden, this would get him, every position from this point onwards is damage control. So for him,
They've just gone
needs to get as
side
much
by
as we can.
side there. Sorry to
I
interrupt.
did see that in the background. I did see that in the background. Was it the lap car of Krellin? It looked like they got pretty close. And Rankin now right on the back of Alavoine. And let's see how this unfolds. Rankin, a very good combat racer here. He knows how to navigate this Porsche and really move it around as he goes down the inside, makes the move, and Alavoine can't do anything about it. And that's another position for Aiden Rankin on his charge to savour the day and go on a hunt to try and salvage his lead in this AES Endurance Championship.
I think he's been watching too much Michael Jordan documentaries, because he went around and, like Michael Jordan, he took that personally.
I thought you were going to say he's been watching too many Michael Vogt highlights there, but yeah, it might as well be Michael Jordan. As we see, Alavoine, he's just on the back now. He has got a pretty decent run on Rankin, so we'll stick along with this battle and see what they can produce down the pit straight in turn one. Now, the gap is just at about it's, what is that actually? I'm wigging out here. It's
2/10.
2/10. 2/10, sorry, my bad. So let's see who gets the run here. It looks like Alavoine just cut down on the inside, but that Porsche is rapid down the straights. Rankin, I dare say, will be able to take a defensive line through this, and he's going to be able to navigate where he wants to. But Alavoine, these guys have been rapid all night, and a great battle between these two guys. Again, respectful racing is what we want to see, and these guys have been great at it. As Alavoine, he's right on the back of Rankin here. I didn't think he'd be able to get that close, and really pushing those brake pads of the Mercedes AMG at the back end of this session. We've just clicked over an hour. We're at hour and 10 minutes now, so 50 minutes to go here. And I dare say there'll be a splash and dash at the end, right, Justin?
Potentially. It is a high fuel load track, and I don't know where to look, because if we look up the track a bit, if I can get on board with them, we have...
Oh, yeah, I see the relative. I do see the relative.
And, of course, it's not doing what I want it to do, so let's try the other buttons. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So, we have Alex Court and Aaron Gilbert very close to each other at this point. They were within a tenth, and just... I honestly don't know where to look. Every time I look somewhere else, somebody else is on top of each other.
I'll keep an eye on the Rankin Alavoine battle, but for now, these guys, Court and Gilbert, they've been at it for a couple laps now, and Gilbert is starting to press the issue in the Blue Oval Mustang, as McKivcar is just maybe possibly a bit of tyre saving, because he hasn't pushed away, and it might be a fuel issue as well. We don't, going gun and hoe when he's got him at bay probably isn't the right move, I would say. But let's see how it unfolds. It might be a pace thing, might be a tyre saving. We're not in the driver's head, but at the moment, these guys are all neck and neck. And even Court now putting the pressure on the back of McKivcar. That rear end of the McLaren has been getting closer and closer to the front of the AMG Mercedes. And look at Gilbert now. He's got a pretty good run. He might have a go down here. Look at the Mustang menacing down the back. He's going to look to take the inside line if he does want to have a go. Court moves over to block the line. So definitely there's a lot of racing to be had on this lap. Gilbert just follows on the back of Court. It's going to give McKivcar a little bit of breathing room, but Court doing a really good job at staying attackive while keeping his position defended from Gilbert.
Alex just wised up to the potential move of Aaron there, I think, and just pulled it up a little bit extra on the apex to say, sorry, mate, I know you'd love to switcheroo on me, but not today, my friend, not today. But just...
You can see Shanahan now getting in on the action. He's been pulled in to this battle too. So it's, let's see what unfolds here. And Gilbert pushing the issue now on the back of the Mercedes of Court. And it's giving a little bit of breathing room to McKivcar now. He's able to just bide his time at the front and watch these guys go to war in his rearview mirror, basically. Let's see how it unfolds here coming into the first sector again. Gilbert moving the Mustang, to have a little bit of a turn on the inside. That's gamesmanship right there. A lot of weaving in the rearview mirror. Technically, it tries to put someone off, but didn't really affect Court whatsoever. McKivka now getting under pressure. There's lap traffic now in the issue. Court moved on to the inside. He has to defend from Gilbert now. Where will Gilbert go? Is he going to run it around the outside? Looks to try and do the switcheroo again. He wants that run on the inside. Where he gets it. He's going to go side by side. Gilbert gets a little bit squirrely. He's going to throw the anchors out late and really put the Mustang on the inside. And I don't know if there was a bit of contact there, but Court just gets moved out of the way, and Gilbert says, I'm coming through. I'm not waiting anymore.
And that's let Matty Shanahan follow right through. He says, thank you very much. I'll take that position for free. No battle. So now Alex has to fight his way back through there if he wants a look at the third step again. Well, you said it before, Cooper. Gilbert has been an expert assassin tonight. Every time he's come up to the back of a car, he's just bided his time, set the car up. He's not thinking, is this the corner to overtake? He's thinking, what's happening in 4 corners time and what do I do now to make that happen? And I think just that pressure might have got to Alex a little bit as we saw the back end get a little bit squirrely. May have been helped a little bit, but to me, I think it looked like he was just pushing to hold that position. He was off the racing line trying to defend on the inside there and shut it down, and just asked for a little bit too much angle from that car, and the rear said, no thank you, I cannot hold on any longer.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Justin. If you want to get the replay up again, I've gone back, I'm investigating these moves to see the action unfold as it's going on. So we can see them coming through turn 1. There's lap traffic to navigate. You can see Gilbert. He just rolls up the inside of Court. Nothing too crazy. It looks like there's a little bit of netcode touch there, but Gilbert still persists on taking that inside line. Now, as they come around, it looks like Court definitely lost the rear end of that Mercedes. The car just couldn't handle that pressure from Gilbert, really. And what Court wanted to do in his mind, unfortunately, the AMG couldn't do on the track. So great racing from Court as well. He's still in this battle. Look, he's right there. He's got who's got on the back of him now? Is that a lap car?
Yes, that's Ilias Dogan, who was right up in this battle earlier. I'm not sure what happened to Ilias. We've missed that.
I'm going to go back and investigate that as well.
It was quite a while ago. We're talking many laps ago. Yep.
Okay, all right, no worries. But yeah, so we've got Dogan, who's a lap down now. But Shanahan, the battle here is between Court, Shanahan, Gilbert, McKivka. So yeah, there's plenty of action to be had here right now.
And look at that
menacing Mustang. Look at it. He's on a charge, Justin. I mean, again, we talked about the tires. We talked about what he's done. I think he's unlocked the shackles on those tires of the Mustang and said, I'm in the sprint part of the session now where, we're about 40 minutes to go. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of splash and dash possibly at the end, and I think he sees the value in getting through the traffic now and being able to settle that Mustang in for the rest of the session. And look, McKivka would be shivering in his boots a little bit, I'd say, from what was happening. But a little dark horse who's come out of this is Shanahan, who's stuck on the back of Gilbert and has had no issues there. So we'll see what happens here and see who gets out of unscathed. And I think in the background there, Justin, I just noticed a little bit of smoke. So I'll go have a look at that and see what happened there, because I did think I saw something spin around at the back there and wasn't quite sure, but I did see some smoke.
Let's have a look and see what we can find out as Alex falls off that battle pack just a little bit, and it becomes McKivka from Aaron Gilbert from Matt Shanahan. Matt Shanahan, of course, our leader in the gold class up there, mixing it up with the platinum boys. He's leading from Alavoine in his class, who is currently in P7 overall. So he'll be feeling very good about his drive tonight, Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to add more heartbreak for our man, Ilias Dogan, but he was the spinner in the background of that last lap, what we just spoke about. Coming onto that back straight. the rear end of the McLaren just didn't want a bar of it, and he was behind Alex Court, and I think he was trying to use Alex as a way to tow back on and stay a part of this battle, but unfortunately for him, yeah, the McLaren
Do we
just
have a
couldn't take it.
replay of that one, mate?
We do have a replay live and ready. I'll bring you through it now. So you can see here on the back of Court, they come around, takes a very wide line, and you can just see their rear end doesn't take it, and off Dogan goes into the barrier.
Almost a Scandinavian flick there. I think he just tried to open it up a little bit too much in order to find his run down into Sunset there to make that move, and unfortunately it just has not worked out in this instance. Just a little bit too quick, too much steering angle, and it's unsettled the back end, and it has cost him dearly. As we watch Gilbert, 0.1 from McKivka. Looking to find a way through on Sunset.
Yeah, McKivka's gone and touched the grass, and that's opened up the door for Gilbert. He's going to have the preferential line into Sunset, and look at this now. He's going to have no issues here. McKivka tries to keep the McLaren stuck around the outside, but it's not the ideal line. Tries to switch back now. Let's see what McKivka can do to try and regain this position. Gilbert, again, like I said, the favourable line, but it looks like the Mustang too strong, and he's going to sail away with that position. Will McKivka have a go? It's pretty tight there, but I just don't think McKivka's got the tyres that can take it on, and it looks like Gilbert is going to take another position and add that onto his list of people that he's dispatched tonight.
A question for you, Cooper. Do you think there's some strategy going on here? Is, Brendan McKivka, who's ran a very excellent race, is he potentially just lifting and coasting a little bit more, which has allowed, Aaron Gilbert to just casually match up there? Is there a potential that we're going to see some splash and dashes versus some guys that have been a little bit lighter on the right foot that are going to totally change the outcome of this race in its closing moments?
Yeah, well, look, it's a great point to make, Justin. I'm looking at the great head-to-head graphic we have at the bottom now. Why the lap times and sector times aren't indicative of how much fuel the cars are using. I'm assuming at the pace of what Gilbert is going, and McVicker's right on the back of him. You can see he's on the tail again. I don't see too much fuel saving going on here. Now, I feel like someone like Aiden Rankin, who's in a little bit of no man's land, he does have Alavoine 8 seconds behind, but he's still 17 seconds away from Court. This is a play for him that he's not losing that much lap time, and if he can splash and dash and potentially avoid that or go through and save some fuel, that could be a huge play, which might get him on the back of Court to get back into the top 5 and salvage some more points. But yeah, definitely a great point, Justin, you make there.
And he is a very good fuel saver, Aiden Rankin. We've seen him basically make that car sip away as we watch Matt Shanahan having a look up. Alex. No. Where am I? Who was having a look there? I'm on board with Brandon McKivka, and Matt Shanahan had a look up the inside there, but just wisely backed out. He saw that the move wasn't on. And you can see there's definitely some strategies going on here. I think Alex as well, if we have a look there, we've seen Alex on pace tonight. We've seen that Alex is quite a quick driver. I think there may be some strategy happening here. I think Alex may have realised that if he saves a little bit of fuel, he may just get to the end. So he's biding his time, happy to fall off the back of this battle pack and just let those drops of fuel save and accumulate as he coasts into each corner, if I had to guess, because when we look at that graphic that I've got up now, we've got Gilbert, McKivka and Shanahan all now significantly faster than Alex Court, and that just does not seem to ring true to me unless he took some damage in that minor contact when he lost the back end.
Yeah, I just had a look down the back there. McHenry has gone past Hagen. Hagen just got a little bit squirrely in at Mercedes. It looks like it's been a handful tonight, the Mercedes. So McHenry was able to make a nice pass and get past Hagen back then. But yeah, I'm a little bit intrigued what you're talking about now, Justin, with Court, because his lap time well, no, his relative, I should say, the gap is fluctuating quite a bit between in certain parts of the sector. Now, he might naturally be quick even with a bit of fuel saving in certain parts of this circuit, but he at one point nearly got within 2 seconds of these guys and then dropped off a little bit. So whether he checked up on himself there and said, oh, you know, it's probably not the time for me to be pushing. But yeah, he is just sort of floating around the background there. And like you said, with his pace we know that he's got, it does seem a little bit suspect that he's out the back there. So more to come from Court here, I think, as we jump on board with McHenry and Shanahan as well. He's sort of come out of nowhere in this race. He wasn't someone we were talking about earlier. He's running this black Porsche livery. It's quite menacing as well. And yeah, interesting to see how he can shape up at the back end of this race as well.
I agree. And as we're moving through, we've got Brendan McKivka there. Back to McHenry. You got to love this thing. Okay, so Tristan Jack running P15 at the moment. I know Tristan has some support in the comments, and it looks like he's just found his way past the lap traffic of Jarrett Stark there, and and Jarrett's also getting the flashes from Mr. Gallen, our race leader. It's been a while since we saw him because he's just driving around on his own. The poor guy, he's basically had the Max Verstappen effect tonight when you're so far ahead that the cameras just don't go near you.
Unfortunately for him, for Louise, it's just a part of being too good. Sometimes you generally don't get too much coverage, but a shout out to him. He hasn't stepped a foot wrong, and that lead that went from 15 seconds to 20 is now nearly at the 40-second mark. No car has challenged him tonight, and it's been a performance that he will be happy with, and he'll be able to walk away with some confidence, given that this all finishes happy and well. We've still got about 34 minutes here in this session. So never say never, as we said earlier. Until the final flag flies, nothing is set in stone. But for what he's done so far, I would be pretty happy with what I'd done if I was him.
Looking at that lap graph that I've still got up on my screen here, I don't have that one on the stream, but he has consistently all night just had a gap between him and the rest of the field. Mind you, looking at it right now, do you know who's on an absolute charge?
Who have we got, Justin?
Take a look at that graphic that's just been put up there. Look at the lone car that's up with him there. That is...
I am waiting for it to come on my stream.
Yeah, it is a bit behind. Aiden Rankin is within a bumper's length of that car on the lap graph. There it is. It's finally shown on the stream. So you can see that Aiden has actually really closed that gap down significantly in the lap time. So I think he really has taken those couple of spins personally. He's back into P6. Tough night for him. But if he keeps this up, he will not be far off the back of Alex Court. In fact, at the moment, there's over a second a lap difference between the two of them. So the question is Alex fuel saving, and is it enough? And as I see that update right now, Aiden has just become the fastest man on track over the average of the last 5 laps of this race. This man has no chill. He is moving.
Look, it's not one of those times where the engineer's lying to get in your ear and say you're the fastest man on track. Rankin is pulling rank here, and he's showing what he's made of. As we see, we know he's a class driver. As we see, Shanahan gets past McVicker. I've just seen that come up on the relative. I'm going to go back and find that one for us, Justin, to have a look at, because Shanahan's been menacing that back that podium at the top there for quite a while, and he's got that job done.
Far and away our highest position goal driver, and a podium position overall. So if he can hold that over the next 20 minutes or so, he'll be very happy with his drive tonight. We've just got a little battle going on between Eamon Johnston and Brad Fenley here. So the OnlyFans versus the VB. those two are probably a combination that happens more than people would like to admit. Too many VBs, you find yourself on OnlyFans. So 0.3 there. It looks like Brad is thinking it, and he is absolutely sent it into sunset from way back there. Gets the move done on Eamon Johnson and takes that position, but it looks like Eamon's looking for the fight back. And did Brad Fenley touch that wall? I'm not entirely sure. If he did, it doesn't look to have slowed him down any, as he pulls rank and just drives away down that straight. No problems for Brad. So we've got Jared Eastman. Jared Eastman is currently a P2 in the silver class behind Matty Knight there. Let's have a look at the difference. 5 seconds difference between, 5 to 6 seconds between the two of them. So if Jared keeps pushing tonight, he could find himself in the top points position for his class.
Yeah, Justin, I went back and had a look at that replay, and unfortunately there's some issues with a few of the guys blinking on my stream anyway, on my session, so I couldn't quite see how the move was done, but it looked like the back half through sunset, and in that final sector that Shanahan was able to get the job done on McKivka there, so yeah, great work from Shanahan. Like we said, he's been pushing through, and he is the leader for the gold class tonight, and he's doing a great job at cutting onions up the front there with the platinum guys.
Absolutely top class. As we look here, Alex Court has dropped to 7.5 behind Brendan McKivka. Unless there's damage there we don't know about, this is not something that's being done intentionally. And I'm seeing the entire gap closed. So I wonder if Luis Paulo Gallen, as we see a bit of action here between McKivka as Blake tries to dart out of the way. He's all over the back of Matthew Shanahan still and looking to find his way back into contention for that third step. Yeah,
that's right. Shanahan, I thought he might have been able to run away once he got past McKivka, but that's not been the case so far. So we didn't really look at the early part of Shanahan's race because he wasn't really pressing the issue. So not sure how hard he was pushing in the early part of this session and where his tyres are at, but he's clearly got the pace and he's eking out a little bit of a gap here, but not the emphatic runaway I thought we were going to see. But same with Gilbert as well. I mean, we've seen that pace he was rocking with at probably the hour mark of this session when they were really going for it. And he was, at one point, he was about 5 or 6 seconds off the back of these guys. And now you see him about a second in front of Shanahan. So I thought he might have taken off. But again, it might be a tyre thing. He knows he's not going to get up to Gallen and push a 40-second lead there. And it might be better for him to try and save that fuel. And like you said, avoid a splash and dash or keep those tyres fresh for the back end of this session.
And I've just brought up our head-to-head slash battle predictor here. And you can see Brendan is still pulling a decent amount on Alex behind. And looking at my lap graph that chat you aren't seeing at the moment, Alex Court is over the average of the last 5 laps, the slowest car in the top 12 right now. And that does not seem true to his pace for what we've seen for the rest of this race. So, folks, I would not be turning this off at all. Essentially, this race is going to end with some strategy blunders and some strategy brilliance, if you ask me.
Absolutely. I agree there, Justin. This race is getting into the sticky part of the session. We can see this. If you look down the gaps here, we've got a couple guys that are in the range of the 30-second mark with Gilbert, Shanahan, and McKivka. Courtney Rankin and Alvioni there are sort of in the same range as well. Then we've got Knight, Coates, Eastman, Arnold that are sort of in the similar range there, with Fenley, Maguire and Johnston rounding out those sort of relatives with Jack, McHenry, Hagen, Whiteman, Crenlin on the line lap down with Denton a couple laps off the back as well. So, yeah, let's see how these relatives play out. We're going to have to keep a keen eye on these, Justin, to find these battles. But the beauty of this stream tonight, we do have the replay function, so you're not going to miss any of the action, guys. Trust us on that. We're going to go back and find all the good stuff for you. So, yeah, we're settling into the back end of this session, and things are about to get interesting, Justin.
They certainly are. We're going to see, I think, a lot of positions change at the end here based on strategy, and that's what endurance racing's all about. A lot of people love their sprints because they love, you know, the DTM style of going door to door and pushing each other off the track and fighting hard, which is all good and well, but this is absolute chess at hundreds of kilometers an hour. It is art. It is strategy. It is a thinking man's game, endurance racing. So it will be fantastic to see how this all shakes out. And you know what? I'm not much of an analyst, so my predictions could all come to naught. But I think
you know, the one thing that I like about the sim racing escape, Justin, is that you know, a lot of real life teams, they've got engineers on the pit wall and they've got guys thinking this stuff out for them. Now, obviously, there's drivers that we see Blake just go a little bit wide there off the track, and a little bit of a sketchy re-entry as Rankin has to navigate his way around that one. But, you know, a lot of the guys on the pit wall are doing strategies for real life races. And while there is your Max Verstappens and your Carlos Sainz, who are guys that are thinking about that non-stop, a lot of sim racers are doing this on the go every day. They're the strategists, they're the driver, they're doing every bits and pieces, and you're seeing it unfold in real time here with Gallen. He's out in front, he's got this race down to a T. Gilbert, Shanahan, McKivka, Court, and even Rankin now. Look at Rankin, actually, he's closed that gap on the back of Court again. So there's all sorts of strategy going on here, and these guys, like Justin said, are doing that while they're trying to handle a piece of machinery that's going upwards of 250 kilometers an hour. So it's great work by these guys, and they're doing an amazing job. And we've seen some great racing unfold today, but we're about to see the best of it, I believe, in the final 25 minutes of this session.
So it looks like Brendan McKivka might have just decided that it's time to save a little bit of fuel. He's just fallen off the back of Matthew Shanahan as well. Perhaps he's been watching the stream and thought about it and thought, shit, I better try and make it to the end. Excuse my French. But yeah, we see Rankin closing this down significantly. Again, if I put up our head-to-head for Alex here, what I'm seeing is that Brandon McKivka was 0.6 faster than Alex Court over the course of the last lap, and Aiden Rankin was 1.1 seconds. He's now probably in striking distance within 5 laps. This is going to be one to watch as it evolves.
I spy with my little eye, Justin, that relative gap between Gilbert and Shanahan speaks to me like there's a battle on our hands. There's only 0.2 of a second, and let's cut over to this one between Shanahan and Gilbert. Looks like Shanahan's found a little bit of extra pace in the back end of this session, and Gilbert now, the man who's been a menace in this session, putting every other car under siege, is now finding him the hunted becomes the hunter. So let's have a look here and see how Gilbert handles this. The gap has come down significantly. And when I say significantly, a second down to half a second. So for them, that is significant. And whether Gilbert's trying to play the game now of fuel saving, but wants that track position, it is actually a lot to play for here. And that's something I didn't really think about until right now, Justin. How much is track position, in your opinion, going to play a part in the final parts of these races? Because when you're low on fuel and you're fuel saving, you don't really have the ability to put your foot flat to the floor.
I think it's really going to come down to track position plus strategy. I think it's no good having track position if you're going to have to stop, But if you've managed to do both and you've managed to save enough fuel and got the track position, you're going to be able to, as we see Matthew Shanahan just take it a bit wide and bring the dirt up everywhere as Gilbert gives the flashes to Liam Hagan and says, mate, I'm battling here. And Liam just runs that wide, puts the anchors on and lets those two through cleanly after a little bit of a sketchy start to that manoeuvre.
Now, while we do have a little bit of gap in relatives here, I did start telling a story earlier on before we got rudely interrupted by some phenomenal racing. I hear some screeching, and is that Makivka? Has he gone around? He has! Look, there's no car in the back there. I heard screeching in the back, and I didn't see that McLaren come back through, and Makivka's gone around. I can almost tell you for a fact that's what happened. I'm just going to go back on the replay and see what happened to Makivka there, but unfortunately for him, it looks like he's going to, look at his relative. He's dropped 10 seconds off the back pretty much. So I'll just give you the insight here.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready and we'll bring that replay right up.
Yeah, bring it on, Justin. Let's have a look here. So Hagan, you can see Hagan here. He might have been focusing on Liam, but Liam moves right out of the way. By the looks of it, actually, he wouldn't have even got close to him at that point. It looks like, let's have a look. So gets on the anchors and just, look, that McLaren just couldn't take it. Now, he didn't fully go around. It was just a little bit of a loss of the rear end, but that's going to hurt his chances of really trying to keep that podium position. I mean, he really is not going to have a go at that anymore. If I'm, looking at it from a racer's perspective, and that's going to allow Court and Rankin to go have a rip. And technically, it's for the final podium position because Shanahan, who's in that gold class, is actually holding the podium position overall. But for the class, Makivka still holds the podium position. So that's going to be interesting.
So our leaders at the moment, we have Lewis, who hasn't been challenged at all. Lewis Paulo Gallen is leading the Platinum class. Shanahan is practically unchallenged and unbothered right now. In fact, at the moment, he's racing for pride. He does not need to take Gilbert on to get maximum points for this round because he is already easily the points winner in gold. Moving down the list, our silver leader is Matthew Knight, currently P8 overall. And to be honest, Jared Eastman is not that far behind him, though we're running out of time. Only 7 minutes left. And rounding it out, we have Eamon Johnston in that OnlyFans car, the only bronze car still on the lead lap. So looks like he may have got himself sorted out and sewn up that position. So they'll be our major point scorers potentially, unless something happens in the next 6 or so minutes until the white flag.
Oh, so there's only actually 6 minutes to go, is there?
Yes, sir, my friend.
Okay. I was looking at the above the leaderboard there. There's a little timer, and I thought that was counting up to the 2 hours. So my apologies there. I think I fed some false information back to the team. So it's actually it changes the landscape of how I was thinking about things. They've got to decide now whether they gun and hoe and where their fuel's at. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because if there's going to be a splash and dash, I assume it's going to be within the last couple laps.
Maybe it's my overlays giving me the bum steer because it's giving me different information. It's giving me an approximate time overall for each car, and it's fluctuating between 148 and 150. So I'm guessing it's assuming how long it's going to take plus the white flag lap, as we see a bit of a battle ensuing between Troy Maguire, who's back up on the back of Brad Fenley and trying to find a way through here. So these are a couple of platinum guys. Points are on the line. They may be minor points, but that won't stop these two from going at it and fighting for this position over this last several minutes. And oh, he's gone up the inside, but is he able to make it stick, Cooper?
Maguire now, he's just pushing that VB car to its limits. He really wants to get on the back of it and get past that Porsche. Maguire, let's see if he's going to have a look down the inside. Again, a smart move. Think better of it. Set it up for the next corner. This is where you cannot defend the inside line as Maguire has a look. And Fenley makes that VB Porsche just wider than it really looks. And now Maguire is going to have to tuck in to the back of Fenley and redress himself and get ready to do it again next lap. I mean, Fenley's gone onto the grass, and this opens the door for Maguire. Maguire's go around the long way, and this is going to give Fenley still the favourable line on the inside of the turn. Is he going to throw the anchors out late and try and stop this move? He does, but Maguire around the outside. Fenley's still there. Fenley now down the inside. They're going to run side by side down this weaving back line. And Fenley now has got that favourable inside line. But Maguire, he's got to push the issue. Does Fenley keep it there? Maguire pushing around the outside. There's contact. Sends Maguire wide. And Fenley says, I've given you my very best. But you're going to have to look at the rear end for me a little bit longer. And Maguire...
And he comes straight. Fenley's redressed.
Redress. Yep, that's a great move from him. I thought he was going to put the hard yard on him there, but he does the honourable thing and redresses the position. So a very great bit of racing there from Fenley and Maguire. And great sportsmanship there from Fenley to give the position back. But to me, that was hard racing. And look, I deemed it as, I like the door-to-door racing, and I thought it was pretty good. Great effort from both of those guys. And I think it's not going to stop just here either. As we see, there's spot fires all over the circuit now. Rankin is on the back of McKivka. Shanahan is on the back of Gilbert. So there's plenty of racing action here. We actually don't know how many laps are left. We're just going to run it to the green flag is over. So there's plenty of racing to be had around. So McKivka, he's getting hunted down by Rankin for that final podium position. And this would be one hell of a drive for Rankin after a couple of spins, some netcode contact, for him to pull back a podium after everything he's done tonight.
P4, mate, P4.
Well, technically in his class, that would be a podium though, wouldn't it?
This is true. It would be a podium in platinum.
Yeah. It would be a platinum podium, which his points, again, tonight, even a P4 overall would be a mega drive. So let's keep an eye on that. But, gee, that racing from Fenley and Maguire, if you're watching and you're on the edge about joining a league like this, that's the sort of stuff you can look forward to.
And looking at the head-to-head there, we can see that Brendan McKivka just... I don't know if he's having to fuel save a lot, because at the moment, Matthew...
from Rankin.
Yeah. So look at that gap. I don't know what's happened on that previous lap, but Shanahan took 3.7 seconds out of Brandon McKivka. Meanwhile, Aiden closed up another 4 seconds in that single lap. He's now 0.7 behind as Hagen finds himself having to navigate that traffic again. And let me tell you, I'm a slow guy. I've been a blue flagger a lot. Nothing intimidates you more than when you have people that you see are battling hard for position and do not want to lose a single thousandth, let alone a tenth, and they're trying to find their way past you. You just think, no, thank you. I want to get out of the way of this. I don't want to be near this at all. And looking ahead down the field, it looks like Shanahan and Gilbert are very close to each other. We've got 4 tenths between the two of them. So we're seeing it happen all over the track here. McKivka under pressure from Aiden Rankin, who's trying to find a way through. He's showing the nose left and right, just running a little bit wider, opening the track up a little bit further, trying to set up a run as they come down through the back section onto the Le Mans straight, and that will bring them down into sunset. The question is, Cooper, can Aiden Rankin make a move stick as they both run wide? But it looks like that car of McKivka's might have got a little wide, got a little unsettled. It looks like this is going to be an easy one for Aiden. He tries to defend down the inside, though, and it looks like Aiden somehow still doesn't have the run. But where's he going to go? Is he going to go outside? No, he dives towards the inside. He makes it stick up the inside by the looks of it, although Brendan McKivka making it hard as Aiden has a big snap of oversteer there. He's thrown all the opposite lock at that one. Oh, that was an error compounded by an error, and that's what saved Brendan McKivka for P3 in the Platinum class on that lap.
Yeah, wow, what a sequence of events there. McKivka saved that. It was running wide, then to rear tyres not agreeing with the throttle input, but look at this now. It doesn't mean he's going to have a little, he would have loosened his collar off there and waved some air down his shirt, but he's not out of danger yet. That little let up there has not stopped Rankin from closing in, and he's just about to get straight back on the back of McKivka. So the siege continues here from Rankin on his quest to salvage as many points as he can here. And a platinum podium for him will 100% be a limitation of the highest order outside of a win. And it's all going on. We're going to have to just keep on these battles. I did have a little peek at Shanahan and Gilbert while you were commentating that, Justin, and Shanahan's just dropped off the back a tiny bit there, but it's only half a tenth. So they will come in to battling very much soon. But
this is our white flag lap. This is do or die. I'm already seeing checkered flags appear. So what we're seeing now is the battle for P3. Can Aiden Rankin get this done on this final lap? Last chance. Heading down the Le Mans straight in but a moment. He's closing it up. He's doing everything he can to make that stick and take that checkered flag. Looking up the field there, it looks like Gilbert and Shanahan are going to cross that line in that order without too much change.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little too late here for Rankin, unless McKivka can't keep this McLaren straight, as Rankin's still right on the back, but it would take one almighty run to get that Porsche in front of the McLaren, and McKivka salvages what's been a crazy race for him, and so does Rankin. It's Gilbert who has been the standout of this race outside of Gallen, who basically we haven't even spoken about. He's been that good. He wins out in front. It's Gallen who's your winner for Sebring here in the AES, with Gilbert on the second of the podium, and Shanahan, who relatively came out of nowhere and pinched that final podium position, with McKivka and Rankin rounding out your top five. Then we have Alavoine and Knight, with Coates, Eastman, Arnold rounding out your top 10. Maguire, Fenley, and Johnston, and Jack with McHenry, Hagan, Whiteman, Crenlin, Denton, and Court, who ends up finishing P20. So Court, I'm not 100% sure what happened with him. He was in the mid-pack there, but I think with those battles we had, Justin, we've just lost track of him at the back end there.
Yeah, that's a big change. He was right up there. He definitely may have had some damage to that car, and it may have contributed to it going around again. So Maguire, the last one to take the checkered flag. Troy Maguire, fantastic race. P11 overall there as he crosses the line. So if I can ask a favour of you, Cooper, can you actually, you won't be able to ask in chat. So if anybody happens to be watching the end of the stream here, Lewis Paulo Gallen, Aaron Gilbert, Matthew Shanahan, who else do we need in here? Matt Knight, we'll need you in here, and Eamon Johnston. If we can get you folks into the social, we'll get you in here and we'll have a chat as things wind down here. All right, that was a fantastic night of racing. My mind's blown. It's still a mystery to me how things don't just shake out and averages become averages, and you still, every endurance race, see people battling right up until the final lap.
Sorry, folks, you would have heard my groans and moans over there, but I've gone back and found out what happened to Alex Court, and unfortunately for him, just if we've got one final time for a replay here, Justin, before we get into the interviews, it's just completely unlucky instance for him.
It very much was.
Ooh, I got moved.
All right, just watching one final replay, boys, here, and then we'll get to you.
So we're on board with Court here, and we can see he's doing everything right. He was just finishing his race off. You can see that the BMW gets squirrely, comes across the track and tags Court on the rear end of that AMG Mercedes, which unfortunately unraveled his race, which was, a race for him that just got worse and worse. So he really showed out at the start of that race, but unfortunately just didn't pay off for him.
Very disappointing. He will be disappointed with that. And not sure if any of you other boys are in the session still, Eamon and Matt. But if we could get, if they still happen to be in there, if we can get Lewis Gallen, Aaron Gilbert, Matty Shanahan, we're still missing those guys. And who else have we got? Eamon, you won bronze. Matt, you won. I've just lost my overlay for some reason. Let's have a look at my results the other way around. All right. Anyway, let's get into these interviews. So, how was the race, boys? Let me just figure out where I am and figure out who I'm talking to first. So, Matty, silver win for you tonight. How did your race unfold? What was it like double stinting full 2 hours worth?
Not a problem, to be completely honest. 2 weeks ago, I had a spinal fusion, so I was a bit nervous to see if I could survive 2 hours of racing, but it wasn't a problem. I don't know, started in 6th, I think, and avoided turn 1 carnage, and just had to work my way back.
Mate, if you could see my face right now, my eyes are the size of dinner plates to hear you had a spinal fusion and then just came straight back into this. That's absolutely epic work, mate. I salute you. That's fantastic. Okay, and Eamon, how did your race unfold tonight? We saw you heading around in that very interesting livery tonight. What did you make of the proceedings tonight?
Yeah, it was a good run, 2 hours. I'm buggered. Don't know how we're going to do the 12-hour on a weekend, but we'll see how we go. Maybe have to do a single stint instead of double stints, but yeah. No, it was a good run there tonight. Just got a little caught up in the first corner incidents. They dropped a few places there, caught it back up there. Track got a little bit slow there towards the end and just wasn't able to keep up the pace tonight. So, but yeah, it was pretty good running.
You had a good run, mate, and you took away the top points in class in the end. So, all's well that ends well. All right, boys. So, Matty, you got anyone you would like to give thanks or shout-outs to tonight? Or, sorry, before we do that, I've overspoken my co-commentator. Cooper, anything you want to ask the boys?
Oh, no, obviously, first night in the box, and normally I'm out in the track with you guys. It's not often that we trade and paint and stuff like that, but great session for both of you tonight, and to hear, Matt, that you had a spinal tap. I thought I was a bit of a soldier coming in with a sore back from sleeping properly the other day. So a credit to you, mate. That's a massive effort, and you should be pretty proud of yourself for an effort like that under the circumstances, mate.
Cheers. Agreed. Absolute momentous effort. All right, so we'll do shout-outs, boys, and wind things up after that. So, Matty, anyone you'd like to shout out or give thanks to tonight?
Look, first and always, Hamilton RSL sponsoring the league, Team VGA for partnering with it, and then, of course, my team, Thin Line Racing, Robbie Anderson, that taught me to drive this track, I don't know, a few years back now, and now we do okay. So,
fantastic.
Thanks a lot, boys.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. And Eamon, any shout-outs and thanks from you tonight?
Yeah, it's just sponsors and all the admin guys that look after everything. You guys on the broadcast booth instead of racing, all the guys for training up, and do it again next week.
Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, that was round 2, Sebring of the GT Endurance Cup. Proudly brought to you by the Hamilton RSL and the Aussie Endurance Series. We'd love to see more of you out here. So if you're watching and you're thinking, that looked like good fun, that looked like good racing, get out here, Big thank you, of course, to Jared Eastman, who makes this stuff happen, and Race Control Sam and all the other admins, sponsors, and everybody else that works hard to make this happen week in, week out. It's been a fantastic Season 8 so far. Thank you to Cooper for joining me tonight. 2 hours would have been a tough one to do entirely on my own. Yeah, thank you to anybody that tuned in. Make sure, if you're an iRacer and you saw this and thought this looks like fun, hit up the Aussie Endurance Series website and we'll see you on track next weekend. Anything else to say, boys, before we call it a night? Cooper?
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. Like you said, a 2-hour session. So, yeah, we had some great racing tonight, and it was great to be invited by you, Justin, to come and to be a part of the stream and help you through the 2 hours. I don't know what would have been easier, the streaming or the racing tonight, but overall, another great round of racing from the AES, and we look forward to next week.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time, everyone. We'll let you know next time exactly how the championship's shaping up, so you get an idea of what has moved and shaken tonight after Race Control reviews any incidents and final points are allocated. So again, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Race hard.